At 0304 local time, a B-2 stealth bomber, call sign Phantom 21, was 40 minutes out on a deep strike run west of Thrawn, towards the Kaj missile factory that was pumping out missiles Iran was shooting at U.S. forces. Unknown to the B-2 pilots, a radar that wasn't supposed to exist had already locked their corridor. On the threat display, one emission, UHF band, Chinese origin, the exact wavelength that stealth shaping cannot defeat. 80 miles ahead of the bomber, an EA-18G Growler, call sign Venom 11, caught the emission first. A pulse appeared on the ALQ-28 wideband receiver. Wrong band, wrong frequency, wrong everything. The WISO's hands were already moving before the classification populated. Venom 11 new emitter, UHF band, bearing 085, correlates YLC-8B. That call landed cold across every cockpit in the package. 40 miles north, Viper 1's F-22 Raptor, running completely silent, every active system dark, registered the same emission on the AN/LR-94 passive suite. Over 30 antennas embedded across the Raptor's wings, fuselage, and tail, each one tuned to a different frequency slice. Think of it as 30 microcomputers hidden all over a house, each listening for a specific sound. One catches footsteps, another a door closing, another a whisper. Put them together and you know exactly where the intruder is, and without turning on the light. 3 bursts gave a bearing. 5 gave a grid coordinate accurate within 40 meters. Viper 1 passed the fix via Link 16 without breaking radio silence. Now here's why every crew in the formation just earned their pay. The YLC-8B is a Chinese-built ultra-high-frequency radar engineered for one job: finding aircraft like the B-2. Stealth shaping deflects radar energy sideways, but that geometry only works against shorter wavelengths. UHF operates on wavelengths measured in meters. At that scale, the shaping stops working, and the B-2's fuselage announces a detectable echo. The Spirit's radar cross-section, marble-sized on every X-band sensor in the package, was blooming into something the size of a large bird on the UHF, a large bird holding a consistent heading at 42,000 feet and 475 knots. The system was pushing in short bursts, 3-second sweeps, then silence. The operators knew continuous transmission was a guaranteed way to catch a harm missile. It's like a neighbor who mows his lawn at 6 a.m. every Saturday. Everyone knows where he is. Everyone knows what he's doing. Eventually, someone's going to snap. Except in this case, snapping means a supersonic missile doing Mach 2 in your front yard. Each burst gave the American pilots a snapshot, and somewhere in those snapshots, a ghost was starting to solidify. Inside the Growler, Venom 11's weapon systems officer started building a response. Jamming UHF is not like jamming the X-band radars the crew trains against every week. It's drowning out a marching band parading down your street, not your neighbor's TV through the wall. He needed more power and more time. He was working on both. But the YLC-8B operators could see the American response building on their screens. Nose climbing, the radar picture washing out. They had maybe 30 seconds before something arrived with a warhead at their position. So they transmitted everything they had: bearing, altitude, approximate speed, a contact heading east toward Thrawn. The data pushed across Iran's degraded air defense network via fiber optic landlines to every surviving engagement system within 200 kilometers. 90 seconds of total transmission. Then the senior operator turned off the radar. Smart call. About 30 seconds too late. In radar operations school, they probably never cover this. Lesson 1, how to permanently lose your job. Venom 11 Magnum, AARGM-88G, bearing 085. Magnum is NATO brevity code for one thing: Anti-radiation missile off the rail. Not a warning, not a heads up, a status call. The harm is already supersonic, already climbing, already locked on the YLC-8B's last known emission point. Venom 11 didn't ask permission, didn't wait for clearance. The threat was declared, the shot was valid, and the weapon was gone. That's how a suppression of enemy air defenses mission works. You don't deliberate, you execute. If you look at the AARGM-ER, it's the latest variant of the high-speed anti-radiation missile. The feature that matters right now is its guidance memory. Earlier versions would lose their target if the radar shut down. No emission, no signal to ride. The G model carries GPS and inertial navigation that remember exactly where the antenna was radiating 3 seconds ago. The operator turned off the radar. The harm already had the address. The warhead detonated, and the YLC-8B, built specifically to find B-2 bombers, became scrap metal in the Iranian countryside. China spent years engineering a system to see through stealth, and the Americans turned it into a debris field in 90 seconds. But those 90 seconds of transmission had already done the one thing that mattered. The radar was scrapped. Its data was still valid, bouncing south through buried fiber optic relays toward the Bavar-373 battery that hadn't transmitted a single pulse since the opening night of the war. At 0306, a fiber optic terminal inside a camouflaged Bavar-373 battery, 14 kilometers south of Karaj, lights up with the first data it's received in 4 days. Bearing, altitude, approximate speed, a contact heading east at 42,000 feet. The battery commander reads the numbers off the screen and understands exactly what they mean. The track is rough and the position could easily be off by miles, but he doesn't need a perfect picture. He just needs a direction to look. This battery has been dark since the night of February 28th, when the crew drove the launcher into a ravine in the Alborz foothills and draped camouflage netting over the Mirage 4 radar, while the rest of Iran's air defenses got dismantled overhead. 4 days of listening to a war they couldn't join. 4 days of hearing every other Bavar battery in western Iran go silent one by one. The commander made one decision that kept his battery operating through all of it. He would not transmit until he had a target worth trading his battery for. He was staring at that target right now. In 60 seconds, he was going to light a radar and fire the most capable interceptor in Iran's inventory at the best protected aircraft in the American package. His window was brutally narrow. The moment the Mirage 4 lit up, every American sensor within 300 miles started a countdown on a harm. One shot, one trade. He reaches for the power switch, full power, continuous track, focus sector scan along the bearing the destroyed Chinese radar gave him. What the Bavar commander didn't know, the AARGM-88G that eliminated the YLC-8B had already been replaced. Venom 11 was locked and loaded. Inside Phantom 21, the B-2's defensive management system catches the new emission instantly. Fire control quality bearing 175, 14 kilometers south of Karaj. A red diamond blooms on the mission commander's threat display, and the warning tone fills both headsets. Only 21 B-2's exist. Unit cost, $2.1 billion. The most expensive combat aircraft ever built, and a fire control radar in the Iranian highlands had just found it. He knew exactly what had happened. The harm that destroyed the YLC-8B didn't stop the threat. It triggered it. The radar operators, knowing they had seconds to scram, dumped everything they had into the network. Blowing up the radar was what gave the Bavar battery its shot. New SAM, Bavar-373. He's radiating fire control, going for a shot. 7 minutes to release. The crew had survived China's billion-dollar radar only to get jumped by a battery hiding under a tarp. At least the Chinese system cost a fortune to build and deploy. This one just needed a patient crew and a working phone line. Venom 11 reacted within seconds, swinging the ALQ-249 to the Mirage 4's frequency band. The jammer had to retune and recalibrate from scratch. The Mirage 4 operated on completely different frequencies than the YLC-8B. And building a new noise pattern against an unfamiliar waveform under fire. It's like trying to tune a guitar to a song you've never heard while your wife is yelling at you to come set the table. You'll get there, but not calmly. 5 seconds to lock the new frequency, 3 more to start pumping noise. What was doing that work? The ALQ-249 Next Generation Jammer, the pod on Venom 11's fuselage, the most powerful airborne electronic attack system in the American inventory. It locks onto an enemy radar's exact transmit frequency and floods it with amplified noise until the signal processor on the other end can't find a real return in the interference. A radar works by sending out a pulse and listening for the echo that bounces back. That echo is your target. Jamming works by flooding the same frequency with so much noise that the echo drowns in it. The radio is still sending pulses, the echoes are still coming back. But now there are 10,000 fake echoes for every real one, and the signal processor can't tell the difference. Think of it like your wife calling you for dinner while you're watching the game. Except now there are 1,000 women, all named Karen, screaming at you from every direction at the same time. One says, "Dinner is ready now." One says, "5 minutes." One says, "You're already late." One says, "Don't bother, she ate without you." Your brain locks up trying to figure out which one is real. And that's exactly what happens to the Iranian signal processor. It knows a target is out there. It just can't agree with itself on where, when, or whether it already missed it